So this was supposed to be a if Dex OU laddering video with some sun. That video will come, but the ladder is not active at the moment, and I actually want to make some content. So today we're going to be talking about the most potent weather condition in Chaos OU, which is Darkness. And Darkness is an exclusive ability weather condition exclusive from Pokemon Insurgence, where it's basically just darkness. You have sun, rain, sand, hail, snow, and then you have darkness. Now hail and snow don't really exist in Chaos OU. Light Clay is banned, so Aurora Veil, which is basically what snow relies on, is basically useless. And then sun, rain and sand have their degrees of viability. Sun and rain are quite potent as well, but darkness takes the cake on being the strongest weather condition currently in Chaos OU. But before we discuss Darkness and all its intricacies and funny Pokemon that you get to use on the Darkness, subscribe to the channel, join the kingdom. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. We're slowly making our way there, and I appreciate everyone's support over the last couple of weeks and months. But regardless, let us begin with Darkness, discussing some of Darkness's biggest intricacies. But before we do that, we have to talk about what actually ends up setting the Darkness weather condition in the first place. Now, like how rain has drizzle and sun has drought and sand has sandstream, Darkness has Nocturne. Now, Nocturne is a pretty exclusive ability. As you can see, there's only 3 Pokemon that have Nocturne in Chaos OU, and we're not using Lunatone. Let's be honest, Lunatone is not a good Pokemon. We do have Mega Delta Charizard, which is a UU level threat, but unfortunately takes up the Mega slot and also isn't able to run the Dark Rock item, which can extend Darkness to 8 turns. So we're left with the GOAT Spiritomb. Now, for all my Spiritomb enjoyers, all of the people that actually like Spiritomb as a Pokemon, rejoice, because just because of this thing having Nocturne over Infiltrator as a hidden ability, Spiritomb is one of the most used Pokemon in Chaos OU, which is pretty funny to me, seeing how Spiritomb isn't even a Pokemon that's probably viable in that deck ZU. And that tier has some behemoth Pokemon, like some Mega Evolutions. I think I recall seeing like something like Pangoro. I just saw like a lot of decently powerful Pokemon, but pretty bad Pokemon at the same time in that deck ZU, and Spiritomb is not even viable there. So the fact that it's able to be an OU proper Pokemon in the power level format of Chaos OU, where you have the likes of Mega Delta Sizzle with adaptability Triple Axle or Dragapult in general, yeah, Spiritomb has gotten that buff that it really needs. So Nocturne activates, obviously, New Moon, which is the move that activates Darkness. And Darkness, let us speak about the fact of what Darkness is capable of. Now, Darkness, the most important things to take away from Darkness, because there's so many effects under Darkness that have to be taken into account, unlike with Rain and Sun, where you'd pretty much just have that flat 50% boost to their respective types of water and fire, and also, reducing the opposite thing, like Rain reducing fire and Sun reducing water. Darkness has a lot more going on for it. So let us begin with some of the most important ones, and I'll leave it on the side of the screen so you guys can keep track of what Darkness can do. Now, the first thing Darkness is capable of is increasing Ghost and Dark damage by 35%. It's not 50%. I'm not going to lie, if it was 50%, it would be a lot more broken than it is right now. But yeah, 35% boost to Ghost and Dark moves. Fairy type moves are reduced by 25%. Weather Balls change to a Dark type move. Again, like, that's not particularly relevant. But also Moonlight, which is a recovery move that certain Pokemon get. Instead of healing half of HP, it's up to 2/3 of HP. So you get a 66% increase to your HP after using Moonlight. Solar Beam's reduced. And Home Claws. Home Claws are boosting your attack and accuracy by 1 stage is now doubled, so you get +2 attack and +2 accuracy, which is going to come into clutch when I talk about the Pokemon that are run on Darkness and actually benefit a lot from Darkness being up. And yeah, just some more miscellaneous sort of effects that Darkness has. Geomancy boosts are now half. Fairy Aura doesn't boost Fairy type moves under Darkness. Illuminate, actually, Illuminate is a pretty useless ability, but under Darkness, you get an evasion boost. So, Illuminate is banned from Chaos OU. Not an ability that's that common on, a lot of Pokemon. As you can see, these are the only Pokemon with Illuminate. Pretty much other than these guys, yeah, you're just stuck with bad Pokemon, basically. So, but it's still banned anyway, because evasion is evasion, obviously. But yeah, the most important thing to take away, Fairy type damage is reduced. Ghost and Dark type moves are increased. and Moonlight has a greater recovery, and Home Claws is, you know, doubled. It also improves Surf by 50%, but you know, there isn't that many water types that you actually want to be stacking on Darkness rather than just using, you know, Dark type or Ghost type Pokemon to get that stab. You know, you have the Stab, Dark, and Ghost moves, which are getting boosted by 35%. But yeah, Spiritomb, we all know what Spiritomb does realistically. In terms of what it's capable of doing in kill, so Yudo, like, I was running Will-O-Wisp, dual stabs, you know, with priority Sucker Punch, and then you have Pain Split to, you know, maintain some longevity there, because obviously Spiritomb has no recovery, so, and, you know, like, compared to something like Pelipper with Rain and Ninetales with Drought, at least those have Roost and Morning Sun respectively, but obviously Spiritomb doesn't have access to any of those moves. So yeah, you have to rely on Pain Split to make sure Spiritomb stays alive enough so you can potentially reset Darkness if you're facing an opposing weather team, or, you know, Nocturne is going to eventually run out after 8 turns, so you want to activate again to enable your Pokemon that are able to use Darkness effectively. But yeah, let us move on to the Pokemon that are able to utilize Darkness quite well. The first one I want to start off with is Delta Roserade. Now, in our last video, we kind of just spoke about Delta Roserade, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But again, check out my previous video if you want to see some more in-depth analysis. But essentially, Roserade has this ability called Shadow Dance, which is the Chlorophyll, Swift Swim, Sand Rush equivalent in Darkness, and it has a move called Lunar Cannon, which is exclusive to Insurgence, where it's basically Solar Beam, but for Darkness. It's a lot weaker though at 105 base power, but obviously you're still getting that 35% boost on the Darkness. So it ends up just being a hard-hitting Pokemon under Darkness. Either you're on Life Orb or Choice Specs. That's realistically all you need to do. I realized this thing had Sludge Bomb. I didn't mention Sludge Bomb in my previous video, but if you want to hit you know, something like Mega Milo a lot harder, you're going to be running Sludge Bomb / Sludge Wave. Probably Sludge Wave for the increased damage. And yeah, this is basically what Delta Roserade did, discussed in the previous video. One other Pokemon I also discussed in the previous video was Kitsuno, my favorite cat Pokemon of all time. You know, this is pretty much one of the most dangerous Pokemon under Darkness, and, you know, a lot of people that are playing Kill, so you consider it to be the #1 Pokemon on Darkness, just because you have access to Home Claws, which again, under Darkness doubles your attack, so you get +2 attack, +2 accuracy, so Poltergeist is never missing. You have Ghost Fighting coverage with Poltergeist plus CC, and then you have Shadow Sneak as priority, and this thing just hits very hard, especially with a Z move under its belt. And, you know, Steel Ghost typing, one of the best in the game, very good defensively, you have a whole load of resistances and immunities, so Kitsuno can easily just come in and set up, and it's not particularly frail either. Like, these are still okay defensive stats for the for an offensive threat. So yeah, Kitsuno just manages to run this sort of set on Darkness, and yeah, it's quite an effective Pokemon. Other than these two guys, there's obviously a lot more Dark and Ghost type Pokemon that are going to be seeing some play on the Darkness, but one other one I have to mention is Dragapult. Dragapult being one of the most dangerous Pokemon ever made, to be honest, and still is a menace in Natdex formats, even in Scarlet and Violet Natdex OU. But, you know, what Dragapult can typically do is what Kitsuno does. If you want to, obviously Dragapult is a lot more effective as a Dragon Dance sweeper when it has a Z move under its belt, so you could probably get away with running some other item on Kitsuno like a Life Orb or a Spell Tag to improve its Ghost type damage. But yeah, Dragapult is exclusively going to be running a Z move. You have Dragon Dance, Dragon Darts, Phantom Force, and Substitute or Sucker Punch just for that priority. And the interesting thing about Phantom Force in Darkness as well, I forgot to mention that as well, I think that's the most important thing. Phantom Force has an instant, you know, thing in Darkness, like you can attack on turn 1 instantly under Darkness with Phantom Force, which is pretty good for Dragapult's, because like Dragapult's issue, especially in the format without Z moves, is that it doesn't have a spammable Ghost type stab. Obviously with Terastallization you can go Terra Ghost, Terra Blast, but people aren't even running that in SVOU currently, so you know, Dragapult's really missing that stab option on the Ghost side. But obviously with Darkness Phantom Force, you're getting that damage boost by 35%. And you're also getting a 1-turn Phantom Force, which allows you to just break things a lot easier. Like, especially after you've extended your what do you call it, Z move. Like after you use like Never Ending Nightmare, you can just start spamming Phantom Force under Darkness, and you're doing a whole lot of damage at +1. But yeah, Dragapult still one of the top Pokemon in KSOU for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna go on to show you guys some replays quickly. But even before that, I feel like there's a few more mons I should probably mention. But like realistically, Darkness can be fine with Delta Roserade plus Kitsuno being able to just run moves. But obviously, I have to talk about some of the Dark type Pokemon available in KSOU as well, because they're all quite strong Pokemon under Darkness. Now, the first one I want to mention here as well is Mega Bishop. Mega Bishop, you're probably thinking, well, what's the difference between Mega Bishop and King Gambit, for example? They have quite similar stats, but you have to put some respect on Bishop's name, because Mega Bishop was King Gambit before King Gambit came along. Like, again, this is back in Gen 6 when Insurgence came out, like 2015, 2016. So this predates King Gambit by at least 8 to 7 years. So yeah, like, you have to respect Mega Bishop. It has a higher attack, much higher speed to it, and the bulk somewhat balances it out. I guess 65 HP is pretty bad still, but 130 defense versus King Gambit's 120 defense. You still have a higher defense stat, higher attack stat, and you share the same Spadef stat. But like, Mega Bishop is quite menacing Pokemon. Obviously, it has Moxie as its Mega Evolution ability, so it basically does what Bishop and King Gambit do. You Swords Dance, Sucker Punch, knock off you know, and Sucker Punch here with Iron Head. But like, you have Moxie boosting, so you get to +3 attack after a kill. You have a +3 Sucker Punch, which is boosted by Darkness, and yeah, you just start killing things very easily. So yeah, Mega Bishop is quite a respectable Pokemon under Darkness. One underrated threat for Darkness, which I started seeing recently, I had to face and I lost to it, was a mon from Pokemon Uranium, I think. No, Pokemon Infinity, called Ferrolinx here. Now, I forgot where the origin of Boomerang comes from, but it comes from one of the fan games. I don't know where it comes from, but it's a fan-made item. Fling hits twice, and this item cannot be lost. So you can't get knocked off, you can't be tricked, you can't be switcherooed with Boomerang as your held item. Now, Fling with Boomerang has a 55 base power, so obviously with Fling activating twice, you have a 55 base power move hitting twice, so you get to 110 base power. Now, if you see Ferrolinx's ability here, it has Technician, which for moves of 60 base power and below get boosted by 50%. So Fling activates twice, it is tech boosted, and that means, so 55 times 50%, you get to 82.5 base power. Multiply that by 2 and you get to 164 base power. No, 165 base power Fling under Darkness, which is an additional 35% boost, in addition to Stab, which is a 50% boost. Yeah, this thing does a whole lot of damage, and it's actually a decently like fast Pokemon. 126 base speed, that is Talonflame speed tier, and it's definitely one of the fastest Pokemon you'll be able to use in KSOU, for example. Like, Ferrolinx comes in here, you're faster than Weavile, faster than Crusadon, Harportia, Iron Boulder, and none of these Pokemon want to be switching into a Fling boosted in Darkness and Technician and Stab. So yeah, this is quite a dangerous Pokemon. Not one you're going to see too often on Darkness teams, but this is a Pokemon that can definitely do a lot of damage. In terms of its other options as well, it has Swords Dance, Fling, Gunk Shot to hit Fairy types. You definitely need to be running Gunk Shot. And then it has Sucker Punch as well as priority if you need a Scarf Attack Speed. And yeah, this is a very dangerous Pokemon. I don't know if you need Fairy Stab. Realistically, like, you're a Dark type that's not weak to fighting, so you probably want to have something to hit Fairy types, fighting types super effectively. You do have a move from, I think it's from Infinity as well, Fang Rush, which is basically an Iron Head for Fairy types. Has a higher accuracy than Play Rough as well, but it is weaker by 10 base power. But that 30% flinch chance, I would take my odds personally, so I'm running Fang Rush every single time. But yeah, these are just some of the you know, dastardly Pokemon that Darkness has access to in KSOU. Oh no, I have to speak about another one actually. I keep thinking there's more Pokemon that I should speak about. Yeah, I have to speak about these guys. Mega Delta Typhlosion. I feel like I've spoken about this guy so much already, but yeah, this is also one of Darkness's strongest Pokemon. Supercell you know, increasing your special attack by 50% under, you know, darkness, and also works for facing rain teams as well, because you know, if they change it to rain, you have a Pokemon that benefits from rain as well on your team. So yeah, Mega Delta Typhlosion, dangerous mon. Then we have Rowan Moon, which obviously can benefit a lot from darkness. You have a boosted knockoff, you have Dragon Dance, you can also run a Z Crystal, and yeah, that is 100% all the Pokemon I need to cover in terms of darkness. Like, these are the first like people I'm coming to in terms of using a darkness team. Like, these guys are quite dangerous Pokemon. But yeah, I'll show you guys some replays to highlight the power of darkness in Chaos OU. Alright guys, I had to find like a replay that really highlights the power of darkness here. We got Epic Toxie, which is a council member of Chaos OU, versus another person. As you can see, they got Spiritomb, Beliodon, Mega Bishop, which is gonna be Mega Evolve, Grimfowl. We spoke about Grimfowl in previous videos. No Guard, Hurricane, Nasty Plot guys with Hypnosis, so it has a guaranteed sleep move, and then it can just set up Nasty Plot. We got Delta Roserade, and we got Echo Firo. I think I've discussed Echo Firo in previous videos, but yeah, this thing has 110 base speed. I forgot his attack stat is actually decently high. I think it has 110 attack as well, something along those lines. And then it has like adaptability, crunch, and there's also a dark type. So yeah, this thing is going to be doing a lot of damage under what do you call it, darkness. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'll switch sides here because that's just easier for me personally. But yeah, let us begin the replay. I just went through it and I'm like, yeah, this is a pretty good showing of darkness in my opinion. But yeah, let's look at it now. So yeah, lead of Samurai Hisui, Echo Firo comes in. This does get U-turn, so you could easily just come in on that. Yeah, as you can see, Snailstorm comes in, Beliodon decides to come in, and I'm wondering why Beliodon came out on this, because you have a type disadvantage, but I guess you want to get up them hazards. But yeah, Beliodon obviously does not take that particularly well. Spiritomb comes in to probably spin block, but they actually go Hisui Samurott back, probably just to ceaseless edge. You're getting that darkness boost as well. Will-O-Wisp the Samurott Hisui, so it's not doing that much damage, but a Spike is still up on the side of the field. But yeah, Spiritomb is actually pretty consistent at getting out Noctum consistently in my opinion, because yeah, you go Pain Split and like you recover so much on high HP targets because Spiritomb's HP is so low. But yeah, the Go Echo Firo is in. You know, this crunch is going to do a whole lot of damage. Don't get it twisted, this crunch is doing a whole lot of damage. But they decided to protect. I know exactly who this is, and I'm just like, oh man, the Garg spam. Even in Chaos OU, you can't escape fucking Soul Cure, Protect spam, the annoying ass shit. But yeah, obviously Iron Crown is like getting O-code 5 times over by that crunch, to be honest. And yeah, you still got 2 turns of New Moon. And Hisui Samurott comes in, which probably isn't dying to crunch, but taking 53%. Samurott Hisui is not a frail Pokemon by any means. So yeah, obviously Echo Firo has that damage on lock. And you know, you can just Soul Cure actually goes down, but yeah, now you're getting Delta Roserade, which is gonna just start spamming Lunar Cannon here, but obviously Garg starts protecting, and you know, Noctum runs out, so you need to get Spiritomb back in. It's pretty healthy at the moment, so Spiritomb comes in, activates Noctum, and you know, Zudomon decides to come in. This is a Digimon which has a Shell Smash and, you know, rock ground coverage. But yeah, as you can see, like, it's actually quite powerful. So yeah, Bishop comes in. Delta Bishop has an not Delta Bishop, Mega Bishop has enough bulk to survive its ground move, which is Anvil Smash, and then the sweep. You're gonna see the sweep happen right now. So yeah, obviously Bishop comes in, gets sucker punches. I like, why did they sucker punch? You're literally faster than Zudomon. But you know, it doesn't really matter because the sweep starts now. You know, you get your Moxie boost, you're at +3. Hisui Samurott comes in, and obviously you can just sucker punch this because they have no status moves. But yeah, Mega Bishop's at +4, and the last 3 mons just die. Like, realistically, knockoff boosted in darkness, like, you're not surviving this. Like, oh, they even went for SD, so +6 knockoff coming off of Bishop's attack stat. Yeah, nah, this is 100% cooked. But yeah, as you can see, very potent Pokemon you have access to on darkness. Mega Bishop is quite powerful, and yeah, Garg dies and Zudomon dies. To be honest, there isn't really much resistant. There's nothing on this team that resists Dark and Steel other than the Hisui Samurott, which was burned. Isn't actually taking you know, Mega Bishop's attacks that well after a boost or +3, and yeah, this is what Mega Bishop does. But yeah, that is it for discussing KSOU's most potent weather condition. To be honest, Darkness, Sun, and Rain are actually doing quite well in the metagame right now, especially after Trick Rock was banned. So no more 8 turns of Trick Room, and Weather can actually breathe a little bit. But yeah, Darkness is definitely my favorite because, like, obviously he's not in the mainline games. You get to use some fun Pokemon like Delta Rosary spamming Lunar Cannon, or even Grimfowl with No Guard Hypnosis. Again, accurate sleep is the most funniest thing to use, but when you're facing it, it's very, very jarring. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.